good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gents. It's your boy Casanova from Orlando, Florida, on this awesome and international podcast, Good Wine and Great Laughs. This podcast is for the wine lovers and hot topics, ladies and gents. I am Casanova, your host. Welcome to Casanova. For you that are new to my YouTube channel, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, you're going to see me introducing the wine of the day. After I drink, I taste it, and I give you read some information about this wine and give you my 2 cents about what I think about this wine and give a grade from 1 to 10. Now I will come with the topic of the day. The topic of the day is always some topics that can affect our lives directly or indirectly, ladies and gents. So if you like hot topics, if you like some wine, this YouTube channel is for you. If you like the work that I do, ladies and gents, I appreciate it if you click on the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you can do me a favor and share my videos with your family and friends, I truly appreciate your support, ladies and gents. Help me to increase the numbers of subscribers for this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening to me and watch the work that I do. All right, ladies and gents, today is Saturday, October the 5th, 2024, and the weather here in Orlando is going to be mostly cloudy with a possibility of stray showers or thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs of 88 and lows of 76 degrees. I was just talking to a friend of mine this week that I can't wait for Florida to go down on the 50s. You know, some people complain about, oh my God, it's so cold, whatever. You know, we have hit hot the whole year long. I'm ready for some cold, chill, cold weather. Not up north, but for Floridians, anything that's below 6 degrees, they are freezing to death. And I like it, that type of weather. So let's jump on the wine of the day, ladies and gents. I have a wine here from Argentina. It's called Septima. You can see the name right there. It's a Malbec, a vintage of 2022. And according to the label in the back, it states that this Septima Mendoza 100% Malbec. The winery is located at the foot of the Andes Mountains in the prestigious region of Luján de Cuyo, Mendoza. This territory offers optimum conditions to make high-quality wines. Our Argentinian Malbec stands out by its ripe plum notes. It is a complex wine with good balance and sweet tannins. Alcohol percent of this wine, ladies and gents, is 14%. Once again, this wine is from Argentina. First time having this brand. So let's see what this wine is all about. And like I always do every Saturday morning, if you see my social medias right here, ladies and gents, I have a clear picture of this wine. On my TikTok, I'm always make a video of the topic of the day and the wine bottle. But on the other social media, you're going to see a clear picture of this wine bottle. So if you like my review, like what I say about this wine, and like to try yourself, the picture is available for you. Just look for one of my social media is going to see season 9, episode number 10. That's the wine of the day. All right. Let me see. Okay, dokie. First of all, let me see this. Let me see this. All right. Love beautiful plum color. Definitely like the bouquet of this wine. Ladies and gentlemen, Malbec. This is a very good Malbec. I like it. And I have some cheese and grapes right here. I definitely would give a 9 for this wine. Definitely this wine to make a cut on my wine collection. Next time I'm going to the wine store, probably next week, I definitely get another bottle of this to keep in my wine collection. So, enough said about this wine. Let's jump on the topic of the day. You guys probably heard on the news this past week about the Longshoremen strike. And the first video that we're going to be watching together, let's say, because I heard the strikes, I saw a couple interviews with Mr. Harold J. Daggett. He's the president of the ILA. This is the Longshoremen Union on the East Coast. On the West Coast is a different type of union. So I was intrigued about his character because a lot of people were talking other stuff about him, but I agree with a lot of things that he was saying. So I found an interview on the IAL YouTube channel. There's an interview with Mr. Harold J. Daggett. So let's watch this interview, the information about what he's talking about himself and what he stands for. He also gave a little bit of history of the union and the creation of the whole industry itself, basically. And then I jump in another video that's also very, very interesting. So it is show time.
I find it fascinating. I believe you said you joined in 1967.
Yes.
You must have an incredibly unique perspective on how the industry changed in those years. You came on before containerization, and you were a young guy and in the family of this industry. How, if you could do a 50,000-foot view of how you've seen it change, what is it to you?
I can tell you it changed a lot. I can tell you back in the 60s, the first company that started in containerization was Sealand. Two truck drivers, Malcolm McLean, Cecil Yeagers, got together and said, you know, we're taking cargo up and down the East Coast. Why don't we get a ship and put the cargo on a ship and go up and down the East Coast? They weren't even thinking about over Europe, none of that. They wanted to try to catch a trucking company to put it on a ship and bring it up here, put it on a ship and bring it down there. So they went and got an old tanker ship, and they got engineers, and they sponsored the money, and they got people to chip in, and they came up and they built a crane on the ship, and they got a container, and they put the cargo in. And maybe the first ship came up with 50 boxes. Nah, not even 50, 20 boxes. It worked. They came in to the port, the crane on the ship unloaded them, and they loaded them on, and they went down. Well, it caught on. And from there, everywhere you go in the world, you'll see those cranes. They look like monsters. No matter where you go, what port, overseas, Europe, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, anywhere, Spain, those cranes are there. It all started with Sealand. The company before Sealand is called Pan Atlantic, but Sealand bought that, and then they became Sealand. Okay, I show up in 1967. I explained to you before, the maintenance local was down. We built it all up, you heard me. Where the changes started, we always went for a 3-year contract. When my father, when I was a young kid, we went on strike for 25 cents. 25 cents. We went on strike in 1977 for 3 months for 80 cents. Fast forward, back then the companies were lucky they made millions of dollars, to 10 million, 5 million. Today, They make billions and billions of dollars. They make, MSC is the richest shipping company in the world, made 3 times the money than Amazon.
Damn.
A lot of money, right? Billions. Well, one of the companies, and I won't mention his name, he took himself, for Christmas bonus, $4 billion. He took it out for him and his family, $4 billion. A French company, I won't mention their name, they gave all their employees 50 months' salary as a Christmas gift. Now, look at that money. They have so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. They know they're building up terminals. They want to go automation. They want more money now. Get rid of these men. We don't need them no more. It's a big change going on. I've been fighting automation for years. They destroyed LA. They put a fully automated terminal at the Maersk line. 800 longshoremen lost their jobs. If it was up to them, they would like to see everybody lose their jobs. Let me tell you, it's not just in the longshore. They got ships in Europe that they're building. They got one now, runs on a battery, a container ship. No crew. Somebody in an office building runs it. Goes out, goes in. They don't want anybody. They don't want to pay anybody. It's not only this union, it's in every union in every aspect. If they keep putting machinery to take our jobs, who's going to pay the income tax? Machines are not. Who's going to pay for the military, the roads? Everything runs by taxes. Take Easy Pass. The first time they came out with Easy Pass, 1 lane, and cars were going through and everybody's sitting in their car and go, what's that all about? I'm going to get one of them. Today, all those union jobs are gone, and it's all Easy Pass. People don't realize it. Everybody's got 3 cars. Everybody got an Easy Pass on the window. And they go through like it's nothing. And they get billed in the mail. They didn't care about that union worker working in the booth. You go in a store today, it's self-checking. They don't need anybody to check out no more. Someone has to get into Congress and say, whoa, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT and all these places. Yeah, they're all brilliant. But what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their families? Machines? Machines don't have families. You got to draw the line. These companies that work in the maritime business come from overseas. Not one of them belongs to America. They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs. Good paying jobs that support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes. They want to get rid of them. Where's the President of the United States? He's not fighting for us. He told in LA, he told the union, hurry up and get a contract. That's the mentality they have. They don't even know what the hell they're doing today. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to save everybody's job when it comes to the ILA and to all the unions around the world, because we're going to fight it with that alliance. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them. So, yes, your answer is we came a long way. We came along so advanced that technology is mind-boggling. We never had cameras on the piers. They got a camera on every pole. They got cameras they want to put in the trucks to watch the driver driving. What is this, Big Brother? I'm against all that. I'm against that. A man can't even breathe without a camera looking at him. That's not right.
What about, there certainly must be, since 1967, elements of technology that have been good for the industry.
Technology that's been good for the industry. That's a tough one because I got to be careful because I'm against automation. Semi-automation is automation. It's just the back avenue had to come in and give you automation without you knowing it. But certain technology, yes, is good because computers, we get more work done with computers. We have doubled the cargo. We have, if you look now, we have ships that are being built by these companies. Check this out. That whole 22,000 containers. It's a floating city. They had to take the Bayonne Bridge and raise it way up here so the ships could go under it. to get in here to unload them. 22,000 containers. It's amazing how we came from the first ship with just a small amount of containers, 25, 50 boxes on them. So look at the future now. Look at the future in money. They went from millions of dollars to billions and billions of dollars. So the world is going by real quick.
Is it safe to say that you're not against technology for efficiencies, but you're person first, people first, like protecting jobs and families while embracing technology to keep the workflow efficient?
Let me explain a little bit about this. The first cranes that went up with diesel engines up there. As time went on, they got rid of diesel. Today, it's electric. The jobs on the waterfront are very dangerous. Just 2 years ago, one of my mechanics fell into the electric and he was fried to death. Wife, 4 kids. Happens all the time on the piers. People getting killed. There was a woman checker. She was checking the boxes when a guy had a high-low with 2 stacks of steel. He should have been riding in reverse. He was looking through the bundles, knocked it down. He didn't even see it. Dragged her under the high-low in front of her son, ripped her apart and killed her. It happens. It happens down here all the time. I had 2 guys killed right in front of me. It happens. We have a group in our local 1804 Dead called the Lashes. The most dangerous job on the waterfront. When they put the containers on top of the hatch covers, all the way up high, you see them in the container ship, they got to be all lashed down in case the storm and the seas are real rough. The ship is doing this and this. If they're not lashed down right, those containers are going to go over into the ocean and sink. Millions of dollars of cargo sunk. So what? My men got to go out there. It's 0 degrees. There's ice on top of the container. It's freezing with metal bars and hooks, safety lines on them, way up high, and they got to put them down tight, get up on the box, slide on the ice up on top. Completely dangerous. That's in the north. In the south, it could be 95, 105 degrees. Soaking wet down there. They got a guy that goes around, they call him the water boy, giving water to the men so they don't dehydrate. Or the ones that work in the hull of the ship, they get water. It's different elements. You have us here in the north, Canada. You have from Virginia down, all the way to Houston. Hot. Florida, everything's hot. Different elements. Dangerous job. We've had 17 people killed in the last 3 years. That's 17 people that didn't come home. We just had a kid killed in Houston. Young kid, a big roll of paper, weighed a ton, rolled off on top of him, killed him. That's why I fight. I fight for jurisdiction. I fight for safety. I fight for these to be compensated with good salaries. These companies are making billions of dollars. They should take us along. We brought them to where they are. Now they want to get rid of us? That's not fair. Not fair at all. And this union's been around close to 200 years. So you can see why I'm always fighting.
Why do you think you haven't had to strike since then?
Because you had leaders like me, and the companies got smart and said, we don't want to go through another 3 months strike. Let's negotiate in good faith. Back then, the companies didn't make the money that we make today. So we negotiated in good faith. We went with 6-year contracts. And we got a $1 raise, $1.50 raise for 6 years. It was great. It was a lot of money compared to 80 cents for 3 months. But today's world, it's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men. Because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve.
Do you think, this is my last question, Do you think the threat of the strike is they can understand the significance of that based on the recent things that have happened, like our Key Bridge, we're from Maryland, our Key Bridge collapsing and it just stopping all the ships from being able to deliver?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to tell you something.
Okay.
When that bridge fell, my longshoremen are on this side of the bridge, no work, no salaries. Biden called me up on the phone, President Biden. Harold, I got the money to build a new bridge. I go, oh. What about my longshoremen? It's out of work now. They didn't cause no problem. Well, he goes, I got the money for building a new bridge and getting the bridge that's in the water out of there. I ask you one more time, President, what about the men whose families now have no money coming in? Well, you know, if there was an explosion on a ship, maybe I can get the money. Listen, you're supposed to be a friend of the ILA. You came to me when you wanted the AFL-CIO backing. I got it for you. You called me in the kitchen, you thanked me 1,000,000 times. I'm telling you, my members need help. Well, let me see what I can do. In politics, that means you're not getting it, okay? I opened up a fund with management after the first pandemic. Let me see how much money's in that fund. I called them up. They called me back. It's $300 million. Wow, are you kidding me? We put $300 million in there? Yeah. Well, I'd like to take some money out of there and pay for those families in Baltimore. Well, Harold, it's only for pandemic. Well, what about we get your lawyers and my lawyers, and any disaster, nature disaster, whatever, we can draw from it. I have no problem as long as the lawyers work it out. They worked it out one day. It cost me $1.2 million every week to pay for their families. Plus, they were allowed to go to unemployment. And it's over now. They're back working. The ships are going in and out. I never got no help from the government. We did it on our own, management and union. That's what we're supposed to be doing, working together. And I hope we get back into that right realm.
Do you think?
That was in Baltimore.
Right.
What was the question again?
Well, it was just about, like, I remember, like, how significantly it impacted our businesses, like the supply chain, because I live on the Chesapeake Bay, and all the ships were just waiting on the other side.
Let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
And with the holiday season just around the corner, well, there's a lot of major concerns over how these strikes could cripple the U.S. supply chain. President Biden and his administration urging both sides to work things out as soon as possible. Joining me now, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Mr. Secretary, great to have you. The White House says that you and others have been in direct contact with both management and labor to keep these negotiations moving forward. So what's the status as of right now?
Well, that's right. Our message to the parties has been to come together, find a deal, get these ports back up and running, and get them back open. Along with my colleagues, I've been in touch with parties. Our acting labor secretary, Julie Su, has been speaking to the union side and the company side. So have others in the White House. Now, what the workers are asking for is a chance to participate in the record-breaking profits that the shipping companies have made in recent years. And you got to remember, these workers, especially during the worst days of COVID, they didn't get to come to work on Zoom. They were out there, and many of them lost their lives. So they're looking for a better deal. We believe the parties are closer than they think in terms of the economics, that there really is a deal to be had where the companies will continue to do perfectly well, but the workers will get more of a share. And so we're calling the companies to put together an offer that's enough to get the workers back at the table and resolve this. Every day this goes on, we really want this to get quickly resolved. And that's been our message to all of the parties.
Sure, we're talking about billions of dollars in everyday goods that we all need, right? And President Biden, as we all know, touts himself as the most pro-union president in history. Now he's saying he will not stop a dock workers' strike. He believes in collective bargaining, and he will not invoke the Taft-Hartley Act, which would force striking workers back on the job. Do you think this is the right call?
Yeah, the president believes in collective bargaining, and by being the most pro-worker president, pro-union president we've had several years now where there have been remarkable historic deals. It's happened again and again. United Auto Workers is a good example, where you reached a deal that is perfectly compatible with businesses continuing to be profitable, but also deals in the workers on that and helps make sure that their wages stay ahead of any price increases, and that their critical role in the economy is recognized. We really believe that the companies can resolve this, putting an offer on the table. Just for perspective, there was 1 year recently post-COVID where the global shipping sector made about $220 billion just in profits alone. And so there's clearly a new era of profitability for these shipping companies. The last contract that these workers were working with really did not deliver much for them. Economic times were tougher then. There were some years where I believe there was no wage increase at all. So they feel, the workers feel that they're also kind of playing catch up. And another indication that this can get done is the West Coast. Recently, the West Coast dock workers, which organized under a different contract, came very close to a strike, but they worked out a deal. And part of what the ILA, the East Coast unions, are asking for is a level of wages that is in the neighborhood of what was achieved on the West Coast. You and I and everyone knows that all our basic needs come through these ports: food, toiletries, auto parts, clothes. I mean, I could keep going and going. How concerned should we all be right now about higher prices when we're already dealing with record inflation and price gouging? Well, look, a big part of how we have brought inflation down in recent years was by making our supply chains more smooth and fluid. So there's certainly a relationship between the two. Now, if you think about the speed of ocean shipping, it may not be the sort of thing that you would notice overnight, but the longer there's a stoppage, the more that is going to have some kind of impact. That's part of why we really want the parties to come together quickly, reach a deal that keeps goods moving, and that's important for the economy. The cargo owners we've talked to, the retailers, the stores, they have been taking steps because for months it's been known that this could become an issue. Many of them stocked some of their goods for the holidays earlier in the year than they normally would. Some of them substituted some shipping going to the West Coast for the East Coast. But still, at the end of the day, you need to have these East Coast ports up and operational. We're hoping that happens as quickly as possible.
When do you think consumers are going to start to feel the impact here? You said that some folks are stocking up, but do folks need to start budgeting right now for groceries, higher bills?
Well, again, when you think about how long it takes a ship to cross the Atlantic Ocean, something that delays that by a day or two or three isn't necessarily something that you're going to notice sitting at home. But, all of these supply chains are connected. We work to make sure that they operate smoothly. We've been engaging with shippers and cargo owners on all kinds of things that have happened that affect that, whether it's something consumers think about at the grocery store or not. Things like the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, water levels not being where they should be in the Mississippi River closure or the Panama Canal. Those have had an impact. And of course, the closure of the Port of Baltimore when that bridge collapsed and blocked the port in for quite some time. Those are examples of things that can be disrupted to our supply chains. This is another example, and really needs to be resolved quickly. But again, there's nothing that's going to change for you at the grocery store tomorrow because of a 1 or 2 or 3 day disruption. But the longer this goes on, the more you're going to see those ripple effects, which is why we're really urging the parties to solve this.
Got it. One more question, I have to ask. In addition to running transportation, you also took on another job over the past couple of weeks. You played J.D. Vance for Governor Walz as he prepped for the debate. It started off a bit rocky. Do you still believe that Governor Walz can take the heat if he becomes VP?
Campaign law prevents me from discussing the campaign while I'm appearing in this capacity. But what I will say is, I have the utmost regard for the governor. I've worked with him as secretary on a number of transportation issues. Proud to call him a friend. And for now, just because of campaign finance rules, I'll leave it at that.
We would have loved to have been a fly on the wall, that's for sure. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, thanks for your time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the interview with Mr. Daggett and also an interview with the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. And also, I want to keep this on the screen before I give my 2 cents. I want you to pay attention on what does it say right there. The top 10 ocean carriers of 2024. Let me go down a little bit right here. And I just want you to pay attention in this right here, ladies and gentlemen. The top ocean carriers of 2024 account for the vast majority of freight movement around the world. In fact, approximately 80% of goods are transported via a steamship line at some point in their journey. But another way, roughly 11 billion tons of cargo are moved across the seas in 2021. Because of that, the financial numbers of ocean carriers by company and combined are quite significant. Total net profits for container ships line in 2022 were estimated a record of $215 billion, eclipsing the previous record of $148 billion set the year prior. Closer to home, international container shipment companies moved more than 40% of all freight value to and for the U.S. in 2021, accounted for more than 1.8 trillion worth, and about 69% of weight, amounting to over 1.6 billion tons. Both of those were the top figure of any freight mode, and including imports as well as exports. The reason that I show you this, ladies and gents, because I saw a lot of videos related to Mr. Daggett, and some people were talking about he's being too greedy. They have a percentage there. I'm gonna keep this on the screen because I want you to keep look at those numbers right there. I was about to put a full screen of myself, but no, I'm gonna keep that because I want you to pay attention and look at this screen right there. $215 billion. So I agree with him where he stands for. Now, also, that's speculations about him. Now, he said that President Biden say, oh, If you don't get agreement, I'm going to put a tariff on you. That means a cooling period of 90 days. Now, I saw other interview with President Biden that he didn't say none of that. But in this situation, is he say, she say. I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on the cause and what Mr. Daggett stands for. Even though there's a picture of him with President and former President Trump, and I don't care. I mean, if he tried to support Trump, you know Trump wants to eliminate the unions, period. So for him to support Trump, in my point of view, is stupid. But for each his own. Because I work in a company that do have a union. Now I have a union, and some union members will still support Trump. So moving forward. Now what he said about the money and standing for his people, I agree 100%. So people, another video I saw on YouTube say, oh, Mr. Daggett has a house, a $7 million house. So what? If this man work in the industry that he worked hard for the time that he has since 1966, 1967 to get to the spot that he is as the president of the ILA, and this company is making, okay, $215 billion. Those companies, those families can live, you can split these $100 billion. This is profit, ladies, and that means all the expenses, all the bills has been paid. This are all the expenses of the run a business, a shipping business like this. After all expense has been paid, insurance, whatever, this is in their pocket, $215 billion. This money, ladies and gents, could be split $100 billion for the company and the corporation that probably could be less than 1,000 people, from the CEO to the people that work in the office. Maybe I would say 2,000 people work in the corporate headquarters, corporate, and the logistics, that part of it. The rest are people, the boots on the ground. They should split, because this is a fair contract. Should give $115 billion for the employees to be spread out to everybody, because this is fairness. So if Mr. Daggett has a $7 million house, for the industry that he works for all those years, yes, he deserves that money. And all the people deserve the money, because it's a dangerous job and it's a very necessary job that's done. I have no problem with them making the money. The problem is corporate greed. That's what it is. Because not only this, I know a lot of people that work in, I'm going to example, I know a lot of people that work in the aviation industry. All right? Flight attendants for some company that I'm not going to say the name, that is struggling right now. Okay? The CEO of that particular company, after have his whole salary at the end of 2023, the CEO alone pocket $8.6 million. In his pocket, bonus. This is bonus. That's not his salary. It's just extra bonus. Meanwhile, some employees for that particular company are struggling right now. They can barely pay the bills. Some people lost, their car. They can, they got to borrow money to continue to survive. They, some people say, I know somebody that told me, hey, the time is hard because now I can't wait for payday, because I just have yogurt and oatmeal for the past 5 days. So for a company, CEO company that has $8.6 million in his pocket, and meanwhile the employees that the front line and do the hard job are struggling, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what Ms. Daggett is talking about. So I can care less about his $7 million. I hope with the new contract, he can buy another, if he wanted, a $20 million house. And I'm okay with that. Because that's his industry and that's his work for. And as long as he doesn't try to steal any money from the union members, that I do not know this man, but I don't think, according to the report, the interview that he just had, that you watched together, I don't think that he would do that. With a little experience that I have, that I can make a judgment on his character based on the video that we just watched, I believe that Mr. Daggett is a man of integrity. I could be wrong. I don't know. Only the people that are there and work with them. And as a matter of fact, when they have the first day of the strike, everybody was there and support him. So for 47,000 people that are under that union that's with him, it says something about his character. That's what I'm going to say. And there's an interview on the Fox News that the reporter was trying to flip the coin. And a lot of people are trying to flip the coin on the employees. The employees are not the problem. You have bills, I have bills. So if you work hard and if a corporation, if you work for a company, that's part of a corporation, you know, and the corporation is making billions of dollars, there's no need for an employee. It doesn't matter if it's McDonald's. If McDonald's making billions of dollars, there's no need for that person that work in the cashier flipping burgers to have 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet, to take care of his family or her family. Meanwhile, the fat cats are living the best life, drinking Cristal, eating filet mignon, foie gras, you know, escargot, and all the good stuff. Meanwhile, you can barely buy, you know, a dozen of eggs. This is ridiculous. So I hate when the people gonna flip on the workers. Oh, you guys being greedy. Oh, you guys, no, that's not the problem. The problem are not the workers. The problem is the corporate greed, these fat cats. They want to make all the money on the backs of the employees and keep all the money to themselves. And I'm not expecting that the basic job, you know, I do not know information about the job though, or the position or the longshoremen has. So I don't know which the entry level, but I'm just going to give an example of corporation. I'm going to use McDonald's. They register the cashier right there. I'm not expecting the cashier to make the same money as the CEO. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the profit that could be passed, like profit sharing and all the other benefits. Once the company is making profit, and because those employees are there on time doing their job like they're supposed to do, those profit after the company take their slice, they could share that to the employees. That's fairness. That's all I'm talking about. So if you do not agree with that, and if you are an employee and do not agree with that, that's something wrong with you. Because I bet if you want to, okay, look at your bills for this month. Is your check covering everything? And why just your paycheck should be just to cover all your bills? Why? If you work on the company that's big, that's making billions, the Amazon's another example too. Why, you know, the drivers are struggling, and that's a couple of videos. Again, Google and TikTok and other social media is going to see a lot of videos of the employees. Now, Amazon employees have argument with management because Bezos is flying on the space. Meanwhile, you know, it's the dangerous of the delivery drivers that saw other videos that being attacked by racist people, dogs being shot out, you know, and there's so much dangers of that job. So these are the jobs that should be compensated, and compensated very well, because basically, I'm going to give one example that I don't know if I said that before. When Trump came to the office and he changed the tax code and gave a lot of money for the 1% in tax cut, on the end of the year, for the following year, that was 2017, I believe, yes, 2016, at the end of 2017, whatever. The first year after Trump was the president that I did my tax. I myself paid $20,000 in taxes alone. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, didn't pay a damn cent. Which sense does that make? None. So that's what, stop talking about and bitching about it, the employees. Because the employees are not the problem. When any other company or any other industry decide to go on strike, and if they have to disrupt the whole frame of the system, capitalist system, so be it. Because the only language that wealth, greedy people understand is money. So in order to catch their attention, you need to hurt their money. And then they're going to understand how serious they are. And now, like I said in the beginning of the video, of the YouTube channel today, they already got an agreement, and I applaud Mr. Daggett for the effort to show them they are not playing around. And I believe this is an example for all unions. All unions that should unify and shake the tree until all the fruits come down, until you think you got what you guys deserve. That was fair. Now talk about, oh, give me a pizza party. Hey, the company making profit, $80 billion in profit, and here comes management. Hey, just let you know, today you're gonna get a pizza. What the hell? You know what I'm saying, ladies and gents? So, this is simply crazy and ridiculous about the level of greed of some CEOs and corporate. So, ladies and gents, this is my 2 cents about today's episode. I hope you like those videos. If you like the work that I do, I appreciate if you click on the like button. Please click on the subscribe button and share this video with everybody. Next week, this coming week, is my birthday. So I appreciate if you can do me a favor, just to keep sharing this YouTube channel video with all your family and friends. That's the only thing that I'm going to ask you for you to do if you like the work I do as a birthday gift to me. I appreciate your support, so click it on the like buttons, click on the subscribe button, and share my videos. I appreciate it. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is boy Casanova. Please be safe, be kind, and be blessed, and do the best what you can do with what you got. Salute. And I see you next Saturday. Holla!
Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top.